Who was in charge of Deep South?
Jody Hamilton at the
Okay.
time, who I knew from the WCW days, Power Plant.
Right.
He used to sit at the go position at TV, so I was very familiar with Joe. And then Bill Demott as well, who I knew from the locker room at WCW. I wrestled him on TV numerous times. I did something I wouldn't do today, which is lay in the middle of the ring while he does a moonsault off the top rope on me. I mean, I trust a guy that's 300 plus pounds to do that, but he took care of me. So they were running it. And like I said, I was more given the notion that I would be, they're getting ready to relaunch this ECW, this new ECW, and they did a big pay-per-view in 2005, and I was a part of that. And then that got delayed. Man, talk about a major corporation with so many people involved, and one person tells you something, someone else tells you something completely different, and
Right.
you're in the dark about everything. I knew a lot more about what was going on with WCW than I did with WWE. I mean, it was just there were so many layers to that, and I was on the bottom layer. I just wasn't, always went back to just do what they ask you to do, and I did that, and they opened that training center, and I was going in that, and Kid Cash was involved with that, so at least I knew him and a couple guys. The rest of the guys were all like, new guys from different areas of the country, that big, good-looking guys with potential, good athletes, that they were just going to mold. Jody Hamilton was going to mold into, the next stars of the company.
Who was there that I would know?
Oh gosh, that's where I met Mike Knox and MVP. Great Khali came in there when I was there. Jack Swagger started out in there. Kofi Kingston, lot of guys that went on to have the Miz. He was the main. He was the guy I worked with the most in there, and I didn't think he would have got as big of a break as he did. But man, he got in there, and he's still there. So there's something to be said for a 20-year run there, man. I was hoping for a 2 or 3 year. You know what I mean? That's what
Sure.
because it's just a long time to be, there. You go there to make a name, make some money, and then when you come out of there, you can go anywhere. You can go to Japan, you can go to Independence. There's always a TNA or an AEW or one of these other organizations to go to. So my hat's off to Dolph Ziggler and all these guys. Stevie Richards spent 9 years there. I said, "Do you need to have your brain checked? I mean, how did you stay there that long?" Because he fought with him a lot, about
Right.
trying to get a break and all that. And I watch his podcast. It's my favorite. That's how I keep up on current wrestling. I watch the Stevie Richards analysis show. Right, it's
He's
pretty
great.
cool.
He's
Yeah,
awesome.
but the guys
I
that
love
have those
Stevie.
long runs there, man, it's incredible because
My first week in wrestling school, I met Stevie.
he's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a good mind for the business, and he's still got a lot to offer. And his show's getting a lot of steam right now.
Yeah.
We talk, and he said, "Well, some of it's negative." I said, "Man, that means they're watching." You know what I mean? So just keep. You got the experience, and you're an expert in the field. So you know what I mean.
Right.
Just keep doing it. I enjoy it. It's probably the only thing I watch that's current. I watch most of his videos that he puts out. So
You
yeah,
mentioned Bill Demott. I'm from Jersey. Bill's from Jersey. I love Bill Demott. I mean,
me too.
I can't say enough good things about Bill Demott. What did you experience as Bill Demott as a trainer? What was your experience like?
Well, good question. It changed a little bit in that scenario. Now, like I just said, we're like you and I in the locker room, and we're working together, and we're putting each other over. Well, now 7 or 8 years later, we're in this thing, and you're the trainer, and I guess I'm the student. I don't know. Um, he wasn't too happy with me because I wouldn't do the squats and I was like, I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm not here to wear myself out. You know what I mean? If the office thinks I need more skills, then we can talk about it, but I just wasn't. So we kind of had some ins and outs about Squire Dave Taylor. Remember him
Sure.
from England? He was a good friend of mine from WCW, and he was involved with some of the training. And he's like, he goes, Bill's sending reports on you to the office. I said, that's fine. That's his job. You know what I mean? Swinger doesn't want to do the squats or take 35 backdrops a day or whatever. It was a lot of stuff at that point in my life. And we just didn't get along in that scenario of him being a trainer and me being a. I think I was more there to work with the younger guys and
Right.
work with them on the shows and go and he was playing that tough enough trainer, hard nose, and I found out years later that he did a lot of that because that's what he thought Vince expected out of him was to be like a drill sergeant kind of guy. I thought he was very good for the scenario of training guys or even taking guys that were a year or two of experience and really bringing them up to a TV level. I think he really was a good. I didn't fit that mold at that point in time, so it was a contrast. And I had some stuff going on with the office where, like I said, I'm being told I'm going to be part of this ECW TV production, yet I'm not, and it's going on, and I'm going into a wrestling training camp every day. It just wasn't what I was told was going to happen, and so I got on great with Jody because he stayed in the office most of the time, just like he did with the power plant, and he was one of those guys that you could sit there and listen to, and you could learn something. You know
Right.
what I mean, psychology wise. But as far as doing the physical. I do think guys that with very little experience or just a year or two, they can take bumps all day long. It's great. It's great for them. It wasn't great for me. I'm like, I'm not gonna. And I started getting injured. I injured my knee while I was in there. I had to go have a knee surgery. I'm like, man, I've been working 10 years. I never had to have a surgery for anything. And then I kept going. Eventually, my neck started hurting me. I said, I got to get out of here. It's going to be over with for me. I was 30 years old, 31. So I'm like, and I ended up leaving there to go back to TNA, full circle, I guess. Um, and I didn't really end up back in TNA too much. I just really threw myself into the independents. I had enough of a known name by then. I didn't realize that because I'd been so immersed in this TV for so many years. I didn't realize there was another market. I thought maybe it was just because I remember when I first started, oh geez, I got to make $50 a match again, but then I found out that you can get paid. I found out you could get paid a little more for having TV experience, being a known ECW, and like you said, all
Sure.
those organizations, they're all like badges on your shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets you. And I'm still working to this day, so it all worked good together.
Did you end up making it to TV for? I remember seeing you what like Sunday Night Heat or
I
something like
did
that.
about a 3 month stint because I made a little noise, believe it or not. Finally, after almost 12 years, this is just not for me. And
Right.
I talked to Johnny. I said, and he agreed with me on a lot of stuff. He goes, yeah, he goes, because it's always the writers, well, creative. He goes, yeah, they should be using you. And I said, what if I just came to TVs and worked with guys, so, and that worked. It got me booked. I did TV, went to TV every week for about 3 months where I did Raw. I was on Raw. I didn't do house shows, just Raw. But the good thing about that is I was getting paid for it. So I was on a small guarantee, but when I would go to TV, I'd get paid extra according to the house, so I was making good money for 3 months. And, but when I would fly back from the TV, like on Tuesday, I'd have to go to the school and do the
Mhm.
training sessions. And my knee got injured at some point in there in the middle of that run. And somebody knew I was hurt. And I tried to keep it quiet because I didn't want them to take me off the TVs. Because A, I didn't want to go back to the wrestling school, and B, I don't want to lose half my pay because that's what it was going to be. And then finally, it all blew open. Oh, you got it. They found out I was hurt. They forced me to go get checked, and they forced me to it was a very minor knee scope, torn meniscus. But anyway, guess what happens after that? You're not brought back anymore. You go back. So I lost the TV gig 3 months for a minor knee thing, and I just kept going down to the training center, doing what I could do, and getting the evil eye from Bill. And I didn't care at that point. Like I said, I was already talking with Scott Demore about going back to TNA.
If promoters want to reach you, if people want to book you, where can they do that?
I'm all the big social media on it's called X now, right? At Swinger underscore Johnny, Johnny underscore Swinger on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well. Easy to find, hard to get. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm easy to get either. I'm not cheap, but I'm affordable.